Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a video here. I have a lot of people asking me on reloading what do you get, what do you need, what's the different components that you need to start reloading. So this is what this video is about, is just kind of a basic list of some things that you're going to need to get started, and I'll try to make it as brief as possible and try to explain a little bit about each one of these, but hopefully in a later video I'm going to do some more in-depth explanation of the process of reloading. So here we go. First of all, I want to show you my bench that I built here. You're going to need something to be able to put everything on. This is actually probably a little bit too small for me now, but it's a great little bench I built. But you can put it on anything, work bench in the garage or anything like that. This is kind of an overview here of all the different things, and it's kind of a mess right now. But basically, one of your main components is going to be your press. I went with an RCBS, a Rock Chucker Supreme. That is here, and you can see how this works with the piston that comes up. Great press, very pleased with it. I think it will be, if you take care of it, something that will last you the rest of your life. I mean, it's built very well. Some other things here, I've got a set of dies. Get in a little bit closer. Set of dies here. This is my dies for 300 Blackout. You can get dies for just about any caliber that is out there, and that's the awesome thing about reloading. Simply put, there's dies for different functions of reloading, and I'll get to that in that other video. But one of the things that will come with it is a shell holder. This goes right in here, and that's where you will be able to put your shells in the press, and it snaps into that shell holder. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. And then these other various dies, for instance this one, they just screw in the top here, and then there's different adjustments on these, and I'll explain that later. So that's your press. This little piece here is something that catches your spent primers as you deprime each shell, and they just catch in there, and you can pull that out. Let's move on to some of these other things. Right here I've got a hand primer. This is an RCBS hand priming tool. You can put your shell holder in here, and there's different sizes, basically for a small primer or a large primer, and those sit in there. And then another part that goes with that is somewhere here on the bench, where you put all of your primers in that. I'm not seeing it. I found it. This is what you put your primers in. It goes right on the side of this once you put your shell holder and your piston in your hand primer. You will need, that's a basic way. There's different ways to put your primers in your shells and your brass, but that's probably the most basic way. It works very well for me. You can also prime with the press itself, and there's an arm that will go right on here, and you can put one primer at a time, and that falls in, and you depress the shell into it, and it puts the primer in there. That's another way you can do it. So that's the priming system. Here is a powder measure. Again, RCBS. I think it's the Uniflow powder measure. Works well. It has adjustments on it. It also goes into the top of this press. There's other ways you can do this. You can also set it up with its own little stand. I've been meaning to do that. I haven't yet, so I do put it on there every time, and probably takes more time to be able to do that, but it works well. You put that in your press, and you can that's how you put your powder in the top here, and how you charge your casings. This is an adjustment for how much powder is released when you go up and down the charging handle. So that's a primer. That's a basic, or not a primer, a basic powder measure for a single stage reloader, and that's what this RCBS is, by the way, is a single stage. That means just simply one shell casing at a time. You can upgrade the RCBS Rock Chucker 2 or the Rock Chucker Supreme with a piggyback system. I think it's the piggyback 2 to a more of like a progressive turret system. But as it is right now, it's a single stage. Let's see. This is a powder trickler. This is just gives you the ability to put primer in the, or powder in the top right here, and you're able to turn this, and it really very slowly trickles the powder in. If you're really wanting to be perfectly and really precise on charging your cases, you can use a powder trickler. I do use that sometimes for rifle casings. This is a caliper, digital caliper. I bought this at Lowe's, I think, for about $25 or something like that, battery operated. And that's so you can check your overall length of your bullet when it's finished, and you can check the length of your cases when you're trimming them. There's just a whole bunch of different things you'll use that caliper for. You will need a caliper. Of course, every reloader needs a book. This is one of the books that I have. I believe this is the Modern Reloading 2nd edition by Richard Lee. This has a lot of loading data in it for various different size rounds. There's several books that you can find that have data in them. You can find a lot of stuff on the internet. I've used a lot of sites on the internet for that, like Ogden Powder has data you can get off the internet. So there's different things there, but you will need a book because that's very important. You have to go by the prescribed amounts to be safe, and that's important. Moving on, one of the things that I did when I started buying my reloading equipment is this RCBS. This is a prepper machine here. Case prep is what this does, and there's 5 different stations, and you can do your deburr outside of the casing, inside of the casing, or vice versa. Your primer pocket cleaners, and this is your primer hole cleaner here. Deburrs that. You also have some dry lubrication there you can use in the different size brushes. This was a little pricey. It's about 120 bucks, 130 bucks, somewhere around there, but it really does save you a lot of time on prepping. For what I've found, prepping is probably where the most of your time is, so it really cuts down on some of that. One of the things that you'll use as well is a case lube pad, and you'll put your case lube in here, and you can, the easiest way to do it is to just roll your cases across that, get a little lubrication on there, that way it doesn't stick in the die. That's one of the things you'll need. Also, these are, whenever you're loading, you want to be able to, you have to make sure that you're not double loading charging your cases and things like that. So one easy way to do that is one at a time. You put these in here, and let's say that I think this is a 50. It holds 50 cases, and this is a universal, so a lot of different ones will fit in there. And that's my wife coming in the garage, so I'm going to have to go for a minute. Sorry about that. But anyway, back to the casings. You put these in here. You can fill these up. You know, if you got one stage done, like let's say you got them all your primers in, you got them all in here, and you do from one. I've got several of these. You know, so the next step will be putting your powder in, charging your cases. So you put them in one at a time, and put them in this, and that way you separate them, and you're making sure that you're not causing a problem with overcharging and things like that. So that helps with that. One other thing that I got here is This is a funnel, powder funnel. You do use this quite a bit. You'll need one of these if you're starting out. One other thing that I did buy is a case trimmer. I think this one is the Lyman brand. There's several different brands you can get. These are about 50 to 75 bucks, somewhere around in there. And that's so that you can have a uniform length on all of your brass casings. After you reload those several times, you'll want to trim those down. And also that gives you more accuracy on your casing, or on your finished product when you keep that length the same. So that's a case trimmer. That's probably not a must starting out, but it's something that you'll probably eventually want. A couple more things. I just bought a electronic scale. It's a Hornady brand. I think this was about 30 bucks, somewhere around there. It comes with a weight to be able to check that and make sure it's staying on, and a little powder cup there, and so you can check the weight of how much powder your Uniflow measure is throwing. That's one thing you will need. Another couple of things here. I've got this is a cheap brand case tumbler, and that's to be able to clean your brass after you have shot that. And you can put corn cob media in there. There's also walnut media. Really, a mixture of that works best. This one is about 50 bucks, I think. You can get more expensive ones, but this was fine for me. You will need a case tumbler for cleaning the cases. You can get a sifter that's made for the case tumbler. I went with the redneck version of that. So I just took out some of my wife's Tupperware, or not Tupperware, but whatever you call it, out of the cabinet without her knowledge, and drilled holes in this. And then you can sift that brass from the media very easily into the bucket. What I do with my brass, this worked well. I just got a Lowe's bucket here, and I got some of these compartment little trays. I think I got these at Lowe's, and they were pretty cheap. And you can sort out your brass with that. You can put 3 or 4 of these in a bucket, so that works really well. I think that's pretty much all the basics. As you can see on my bench here, I just got one of these little organizers at Lowe's, and I've got different things I've got put in there. And again, what I'll do is I'll do another video as soon as I can on a little bit in depth on the process of reloading. I've got stuff sitting everywhere, as you can see. I loaded up a bunch of 45 here. One of my favorite things to reload, and you can kind of see through this plastic bag, is 300 Blackout. That is an awesome round. I've been messing with that for quite some time. I've got some bullets laying around here, some different things. So we'll do another video on what you actually do with the process of reloading as you go. But hopefully this has been a video that'll be informative of just some of the things that you'll need to start out with in reloading. And it's a blast. You'll love it. You save money. You get to shoot more. Really, it's awesome just for all those reasons. And so anyway, until then, we'll see you later. Bye.